We are the Gujarat Technological University. Since its inception over a decade ago, GTU has been empowering young and curating minds to realize their true potential. Over 4 lakh inspired students are enrolled with one of the premier academic universities in India. With more than 450 affiliated colleges in its fold operating across 5 zones of the state, GTU, the International Innovative University, your place to move forward.
Hello everybody. Today I would like to discuss the 4-quadrant operation of electrical drives with a little of animation which I have tried in the PowerPoint presentation. And we would like to understand the 4-quadrant operation of electric drives with the example of electrical drives. Most of the cases this is generally explained with the example of lift or hoist, but let's try something different. So today I would like to explain the 4-quadrant operation of electrical drives with the help of electric vehicles or electric cars example. So this is the dynamic equation which is we kept in mind whenever we discuss any drive in motion. This equation is derived using Newton's second law, that is net torque is equal to rate of change of angular momentum. So what are the 4 quadrants? The 4 quadrants of electrical drives, or the combination in which an electric drive can operate, are over here. We generally take torque on positive x-axis. So this is positive torque, this is negative torque, and the speed is on y-axis, or a positive speed over here, negative speed over here. Now, before we go any further, if these are the 2 axes which are dividing my plane into 4 parts, then I have to first take the nomenclature that which is positive and which is negative. So for speed control, or for the 4-quadrant operation discussion, positive torque is the torque which is causing motor to move in forward direction, and negative torque means the torque which is opposing the motion. Now what is forward? Because forward and reverse is a relative term, so this is something which I have already assumed for my motion. So say I'm moving from one A point to B point, that I consider as a forward, then from B to A it will be reverse motion. So forward motoring is something which I have already assumed. For that particular forwarding motion, if the torque is supporting the motion, that is motor developed torque is supporting the motion, then it is called motoring. If motor is developing torque to oppose the motion, it is called braking, right? So with that nomenclature, with that convention, I have 4 combination: torque positive, speed torque positive. So we have a first quadrant known as forward motoring. When I have speed positive but torque opposing the motion, is forward braking. When I have both torque and speed negative, it is called reverse motoring. And when I have torque positive but speed negative, it is called reverse braking. Now let's try to understand each quadrant with a little example of electric car. Assume anti-clockwise rotations as a positive speed direction. Motor torque supporting is motoring. Motor torque opposing motion is called braking. Right? So this is the convention for us. Now this is a motion on level track. Now let's start with the first quadrant. So first quadrant is when you are moving the car on a level track or on an uphill. Uphill will give us a better indication. So when car tries to move uphill, the gravity or load torque tries to pull it down. That means because of this load torque is acting in a clockwise direction, which will bring that car down if nothing is done. This motor is producing sufficient torque, so car is able to move up, and so motor torque is in the anti-clockwise direction, and so as the rotation of the wheel or motor in the anti-clockwise direction. So this is the example of first quadrant operation. When car is moving upward in this fashion with the assumed positive direction, this is called first quadrant operation. Torque is positive, speed is also positive. Now, what is second quadrant then? So in second quadrant, the same car is moving downhill. So the direction of rotation remains same anti-clockwise, but at this time, when car tries to move downward, the gravity is pulling it in the same direction. That means the load torque is acting in the direction of rotation, and at that time, motor is developing torque to oppose this. It is producing braking so that it can control the dangerously high speed which it can achieve if nothing is done. So when motor is opposing this forward motion, it is called forward braking. So forward braking is, as you can see over here, motor moving down from uphill with the anti-clockwise rotations, or from right to left linear motor movement as shown. So here load is supporting the motion, and motor torque is trying to control the dangerous high speed. Now, third quadrant. The third quadrant is the situation when I want to move in a reverse direction. So compared to my forward direction of rotation, now my motor is moving in opposite direction. So I'll consider it as a opposite or minus speed. And as torque is also supporting the minus speed, so it is minus torque. So here the torque is not braking, but it is negative to support negative speed. So when I assume the car is moving up from the reverse direction, it is called reverse motoring as shown. So reverse motoring is nothing but car moving in a reverse direction in this fashion. So here again load is acting downwards, so it is opposing the motion. Motor is motoring torque, or TM is supporting motion. So this is a motoring operation, but in a reverse direction. So this quadrant is also known as reverse motoring. And now the last quadrant, known as fourth quadrant. So fourth quadrant, assume that in the reverse direction you want to bring down this electric car. So when it tries to come down, the gravity is basically pulling it downwards. It is supporting motion. So load torque is acting in the same direction as that of the motor, and motor torque is opposing the motor to avoid dangerous high speeds, right? So movement is in reverse direction, and motor is opposing or applying brakes. That's why it is called reverse braking. It is also known as the fourth quadrants. Is also known as reverse generation. Second quadrant and fourth quadrant are also known as braking modes or generating modes. So this is the fourth quadrant. So likewise, four quadrants of electrical drives you can explain with the example of electric drives. I hope you have liked my video. Thank you for watching.